This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Travel and the trade war. New stats show a drop in the number of Canadians, including Nova Scotians, visiting the U.S.
Expanded screening, a program that targets those at very high risk of lung cancer, broadens to include the Eastern Zone.
Glorious and free. One Nova Scotia brewery is part of a nationwide project to create a totally Canadian beer.
Increasing clouds over the next couple of days. However, temperatures staying quite mild. Your full weather forecast is coming up.
We have heard that fewer Canadians are visiting the U.S. Now, Statistics Canada has the numbers to back that up.
Many Nova Scotians saying the current political climate is deterring them, with President Trump's policies and rhetoric as the main factors. Nicholas Sagan reports.
The trade war roller coaster continues. Some Canadians are staying away from the United States, changing their travel habits and saying goodbye to destinations like Florida and New York, at least for now.
Not at this time, I wouldn't.
And why is that?
Because of the changes that Trump is doing and ruining all countries.
I don't like the 51st state, for sure, because I know we've never moved down to be part of it. And I don't really like the tariffs because everything is, you never know from one minute to the other when he's on TV.
Like most Americans are opposed to what's going on, and I think soon, hopefully, their voices will be heard and the silliness will be all finished. So, but I won't be going for a while anyway.
New Statistics Canada data shows return trips from Canada to the U.S. were down in March compared to the year before. Air travel for Canadian residents was down by 13.5% and land travel down by 32%. As Nova Scotians double down on buying local, they're traveling local as well, keeping their tourism dollars in Canada.
Over the past few months, I haven't seen a single inquiry for the U.S. travel.
This Halifax travel agent says U.S. bookings used to be part of his regular business, but things have changed in the last 2 months.
I was actually expecting a bit of slowdown, but not the complete, halt in bookings.
And bus tours that usually go from Halifax to the U.S. are seeing the same thing.
We normally do a number of trips to the U.S. each year, and there really hasn't been any interest at this point, and certainly no bookings.
Arnold says Canadians feel hurt and betrayed by tariffs and 51st state rhetoric.
We've always had great close relationships with the U.S., especially here in Atlantic Canada. Boston, our Christmas tree story of how they came to help us during our time with the Halifax explosion, and those ties run deep.
But the Port of Halifax says the feeling of a fractured relationship doesn't go both ways. Americans are still coming to Canada, and Halifax is gearing up for a major cruise ship season. As a port city, Halifax has historically hosted visitors from around the world. So those in the tourism industry hope Nova Scotians continue to welcome Americans with open arms. Nicholas Sagan, CBC News, Halifax.
Affordability, health care, and the lack of housing are some of the issues candidates in the newly formed riding of Sydney-Glace Bay are hearing on the doorsteps in this federal election campaign. But as the CBC's Kyle Moore tells us, Donald Trump is also a big part of the conversation.
The signs are up and the campaigning is well underway in the newly formed riding of Sydney-Glace Bay. Liberal candidate Mike Kellaway was first elected in 2019 in the riding of Cape Breton-Canso, but now he has new ground to cover in a more urban district.
To run in the place which has given me everything, where my mom and dad in Glace Bay raised me, to give back and to act in the service of others is something that I really take seriously.
The Sydney-Glace Bay riding has more than 82,000 people. Kellaway says he's been hearing from people on the doorstep about affordability and housing, but Donald Trump is at the top of the list.
We've seen such an increase in volunteers, such an increase in donors, such an increase in signs. People want to be a part of the solution, and people are actively getting involved.
Lawyer Anna Manley is the Conservative Party candidate. She declined an interview with CBC, saying in an email she'd rather focus on campaigning. According to Manley's Facebook page, she's about family, freedom, and hard work. She's been knocking on doors for months now.
Developing that rapport with voters does matter. And in Cape Breton, relatively speaking, more than in many other regions of the country, the personal connection with voters still counts for something.
NDP candidate Kimberly Lozier says right now many people in the area are struggling. She says her party would tariff-proof groceries and reduce GST on cell phone, internet, and power bills.
We deserve to be able to afford to live. We need to be able to afford to have our paychecks cover our bills at the end of the month. We need to be able to not have to worry about whether or not you have a credit card to be able to go to the grocery stores.
In total, there are 8 candidates in Sydney Glace Bay, including independent Joe Ward, Jeff Evely with the People's Party, Libertarian Michael Pittman, Chris Gallant with the Canadian Future Party, and Marxist-Leninist candidate Nick Provert. Election Day is April 28th. Kyle Moore, CBC News, Sydney.
CBC in Cape Breton is hosting a second debate tonight, this time for the newly defined riding of Cape Breton-Canso-Antigonish. All 5 candidates on the ballot have been invited and will participate in the debate happening tonight in Port Hawkesbury at the Civic Centre. The debate will be moderated by Steve Sutherland, host of Information Morning Cape Breton. It begins at 6:30 and will be live streamed on our CBC Nova Scotia YouTube channel as well as on cbc.ca.
Well, today, all of the candidates had pretty good weather for getting around, that's for sure.
They did. You know what they say in Nova Scotia? Wait a minute, the weather's going to be changing.
Yeah, that's right. A great day for door knocking as opposed to earlier in the week. That is for sure. The snow pretty much melting away in many areas, though some remnants, but likely going to be watching the rest of it melting away, minus those higher terrain areas for Friday. As you can see, temperatures ranging between 7 and 9 degrees across the mainland. 6 to 8 degrees across Cape Breton. The winds are going to be light. The sunshine early in the day will be nice, and then we're going to be watching that cloud kind of build in from west to east throughout the day. High pressure moving off to the east, that will allow the door to open at least a crack and allow that cloud to move in for Friday. Now that cloud will kind of disperse and move off to the north. That will allow the sun to come back out late day, more into the evening, at least a few breaks of sun early Saturday. Chance for a shower starting to work its way in for Saturday afternoon. This system, this area of high pressure anchored here, is going to try to keep this low off to the south. It will kind of bust in throughout the day on Sunday with a few showers. We'll talk about that with your 7-day coming up.
All right, do stay tuned. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
A healthcare program that helps people with smoking in the Halifax area is now expanding to the province's Eastern Health Zone. The lung screening program helps detect early signs of lung cancer. Matthew Moore reports.
The province's lung screening program aims to help people who are at higher risk of developing lung cancer to either get assistance to stop or organize a CT scan. Now, it's expanding to Cape Breton and the Eastern Mainland. It's open to people who are 50 to 74 years old and have been a daily smoker for more than 20 years. So far in the Central Zone, which includes Halifax, 2,700 people have called or been referred. Several dozen were found to have lung cancer, but it was detected early, possibly before the person even had symptoms.
41 patients have been referred to the lung surgeons for workup of what might be a lung cancer. We've had several lung cancers detected. Almost all of them have been early stage, which is fantastic news. We've found a few other things. We've actually found a couple of breast cancers as well, a few incidental things as well. So it's been a great start. Way more people have been interested and ready to make a quit attempt than we thought, and that's really good news.
Mano says the Eastern Zone in particular has higher cancer rates than elsewhere in the province. The goal is to have the screening program available everywhere by next year. Provincial officials say the numbers show that people want to get help and are interested in quitting.
Yeah, I think in 2024, I think they've had close to 2,000 referrals. A variety of those, several hundred have been for smoking cessation, nicotine replacement therapy. A smaller number have been referred off to lung specialists for further testing and investigation. So these are folks that probably otherwise wouldn't have sought the care in the first place. So pretty significant numbers. And we do know Eastern Zone's rates of lung cancer are quite high in the province. So I think this is a really positive thing.
The total cost for the project will be $3 million once it expands to other parts of the province. Matthew Moore, CBC News, Sydney.
Long-awaited traffic safety improvements are coming to Nova Scotia next year. The Traffic Safety Act was passed nearly 7 years ago, but has never become law. The province is now asking municipalities for their input on the act, so some pieces can go sooner rather than later. Halifax Councillor Sam Austin is hopeful photo radar is among those changes. That would allow cameras to catch people speeding rather than police.
Our only ability to control speeding is with police, and police can't be everywhere, right? An officer can't be on duty in a spot all the time, whereas a camera, always on, always there, always active, always doing its thing to reduce speeding. They're not always necessarily popular, but they work.
A research company will hold discussion sessions with municipalities over the coming months. The province says the revised act and regulations are expected next year.
The Nova Scotia Energy Board is siding with a small renewable company in a dispute with Nova Scotia Power. Renewable is planning to build a wind farm on the Mersey River in Queens County and sell electricity directly to consumers using Nova Scotia Power's grid. The utility is supposed to pay upfront costs to tie the new producer into the grid, but last year it told the regulator the costs were proving too much. It asked for a letter of credit from Renewable. When the company refused, Nova Scotia Power took the dispute to the Energy Board. In a decision released Wednesday, the board says Renewable does not have to provide the letter of credit. It says demanding such letters would discourage participation in the Renewable to Retail program.
Craft breweries across the country are teaming up to produce a beer that is 100% Canadian, including one brewery located right here in Nova Scotia. The CBC's Andrew Sampson has that story.
As the trade war between Canada and the United States began to heat up, the Dominion Brewing Company in Ottawa began to ask a deceptively simple question. What if they got craft breweries from all over Canada to produce one IPA using as many Canadian ingredients as possible? Around 40 of them got on board to produce the glorious and free IPA, including Nova Scotia's North Brewing Company.
Canada is a sort of an agricultural jewel as far as what we can do here. So we were really excited to be the first brewery that was asked to sort of help kick this off.
Like many Canadian businesses, North Brewing has been affected by the tariffs, but they're still in a holding pattern, waiting to see how it all shakes out. Roger Kennedy works in the industry and says the tariffs are already proving to be disruptive. But he says Nova Scotia producers are well positioned to ride it out.
I think they'll be okay as long as they manage themselves over the next 2 years. Cider is getting bigger, distillery is getting bigger, and especially getting rid of the bourbons U.S. So there's an opportunity for our local producers. It's just a matter of marketing and getting out there to get people to understand that what they make is just as good as anything.
The brewery says it worked hard to create this IPA, using grains and malt from PEI and yeast from Ontario. And 50 cents from each can sold will go to the Mi'kmaq Native Friendship Center.
I think that like making and drinking beer and sharing beer is just a really nice Canadian thing to do. I think that the value added portion of elevating other community members, showing that we have a strong agricultural base, an industrial base, a lot of skilled labor, that Canada is glorious and free and a really strong country. It's not a perfect country. We can always do better, but we're really proud to be part of this and to be a small Canadian independent brewery.
The beer is glorious and free and totally Canadian. It will be on store shelves on Friday, and if all goes well, the brewer says that a new batch will be made in the coming weeks. Andrew Sampson, CBC News, Cole Harbour.
I always figured that tea was just going to taste like hot brown water. And you know what? I was right. Yeah, it's horrible. No, thank you.
Welcome to England.
Do you believe? Dalhousie certainly does, in Ted Lasso's coaching style, that is. A new course next year at the University School of Health and Human Performance centers around the comedic coaching style portrayed in the Apple TV show.
The school says that in a world that is trying to divide us, the course will demonstrate how, with the right mindset, empathetic leadership can bring us together. The show is about an American football coach hired to lead a British soccer team, despite knowing nothing about the sport. Some sunny skies over beautiful George's Island.
Pretty nice scene, isn't it?
All right, we've got Ryan up next with a full forecast. Don't go anywhere.
Oh man, the snow is disappearing so quickly now.
Good riddance.
Lots of greenery out there in the front yards for sure.
Well, and any of those snowmen we saw yesterday,
long
they're
gone.
probably gone. Huh?
Yeah, although apparently the kids at my son's schools, they all got together, like 20 of them, and made this like massive, so
teamwork.
they're wondering how long it will
Big
last.
project,
and I'm
yeah.
guessing it will be a while if your snowman is that big. But yeah, no doubt the temperatures creeping up over the next couple days, still quite mild. Though the clouds are going to be building in a little bit, but we'll still see at least a taste of sun. Have a look at our high temperatures for today. Actually, first we got to go webcam.
And that's worth the shot, isn't it?
It is.
I don't see any snow there.
No,
just the white sand beach. That's all it is.
It could be any time of year, really.
Yeah.
Except if you put your foot in the water.
Yeah, true.
And that's a live shot, is it?
This is.
Oh, yeah.
Lockport.
Oh yeah, see the waves. Yeah,
Yep.
it's beautiful.
South Shore, beautiful.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Do
Soon
the show
enough,
from
Tom.
there.
Yeah.
Soon enough. Yeah, temperatures out there right now, 7 degrees down towards Lockport and the southwest. Shelburne's at 7. Western Head's at 4. So it is dependent on your proximity to the coast. You can see 5 to 8 degrees across Cape Breton right now. The winds generally have been in from the southwest today, and as expected, in that 10 to 20 kilometer per hour range sustained. We're looking at some gusts upwards of 30 to 40 kilometers per hour, so it has been breezy. That will be the one difference for sure to Friday, is the winds are going to be a lot lighter on Friday. We are watching this area of high pressure kind of setting up from our east off towards northern Ontario. This is the low that is going to try to spin its way and is actually throwing some flakes back into Toronto and southern Ontario right now, and that will try to bust into our region throughout the weekend. But that area of high pressure is going to be basically setting up a wall, not really allowing it to move in at least freely. Have a look at temperatures across Canada, 15, 16 degrees, so spring is really springing in the prairies over the last couple of days, and you can see those temps so cool across the Great Lakes with those few flakes flying there. All right, so overnight lows tonight are going to be dropping into the -4 to -7 range for the most part. Winds are going to be light tonight, and then as we work our way throughout the day on Friday, note the clouds will be quite just a few clouds, we'll say it that way, for Friday morning. But then the clouds will certainly build in throughout the morning in the west and likely late morning into the early afternoon. Central, Cape Breton hanging onto the sun for a good chunk of the day. But I do think we'll even still see some sun breaks into the afternoon. So even though once the clouds build in, that won't be it. We are looking at 5 to 8 degrees across Cape Breton. The winds light in from the south on Friday. Temperatures anywhere from 4 and onshore winds places like Canso, but 8, 9 degrees. Possible Antigonish, back into Pictou, New Glasgow, Truro, even towards Halifax County. The winds will be light, so there will be a sea breeze right along the coastline, but inland it looks pretty good. And we are looking into the west, those clouds building in a bit earlier, but still 5, 6, 7 degrees on tap there. Now, as I mentioned, this area of high pressure will be anchored off to our east. That will result in a northeasterly flow on Saturday. Sunshine early in the day, and then that next system is going to be trying to approach, and you can see some showers edging their way into western areas into the afternoon. But that looks like as far as that system will get on Saturday is the west. Tri-County, maybe in the evening, the valley, the South Shore, but throughout the day, looks like the Tri-County areas really are our chance for showers there. But Saturday evening, that next system will start to kind of work in a little bit. Now, the forecast model is still kind of divergent on Sunday. This model, the European model, it's definitely holding this system at bay the most. Canadian model does bring it up a little bit further towards the Halifax area by Sunday afternoon and into Sunday evening for the east. The American model is right through the gates here. So still some uncertainty for Sunday. Count on clouds with some shower chances and the greatest chances towards the southwest of the province. Now, it does look like either way. We've got showers to contend with for Monday and into Tuesday of next week. And then we will be watching things kind of clear out towards mid to late next week with a little bit of sunshine moving back in. But yeah, an April forecast for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Okay, thanks so much, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan. Coming up, fly like an eagle. How a big donation from a local business is helping this wildlife rehab center soar. Spring means the arrival of baby wildlife, and of course that makes for busy times here at Cobequid Wildlife Rehabilitation Center in Brookfield. And I'm here with Operations Manager Brenda Boats. So you've been fundraising quite a bit, and boy, did it pay off for you.
It really did pay off, and much faster than we ever expected. We were very fortunate to be contacted by a local businessman who ended up donating 2 incubators,
wow,
which was our entire campaign. He had heard our interview on CBC radio earlier on and contacted us, and he wanted to do some good for the world, and away he went.
And these aren't cheap, right?
They are not cheap, and they have to be imported. So we did start our fundraiser early with this thinking that it would take a while for us to get them, but boy, did they get here fast. They were here faster than our campaign actually ended. And we did say in our campaign that anything extra and over above what we raised for the incubators will still go to the care, feeding, medication, storage, vet visits for our orphans.
Mm-hmm. So you had an older model and still have an older model incubator.
Yeah.
Why do you need the newer ones?
Well, there's a couple reasons we needed the newer ones. Updates, you know, computers, everything's computerized these days. Cost is a barrier to us. We are a registered Canadian charity, so we do rely on fundraising and campaigns like this to do our work.
What kind of animals end up in these incubators? I know we have birds here, but it's not just birds, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of raptors. We have a raptor flyway that's of a handful of its type in North America, and we do get a lot of birds in. So the incubators are used for baby birds, they're used for baby mammals, and they're used for injured. Incubator warmth, stability, quiet really helps the recovery of, say, an adult skunk that comes in, and he needs to be in some heat and quiet and isolation.
So you'd have, besides the birds, you'd say skunks, fox maybe, or what else?
Yeah, we take mammals, foxes, and smaller. And fox, underneath all that fluff of a fox, they're actually very small animals. They're about the size of a normal-sized, regular-sized house cat. Not like a rag doll or something like that, but a regular-sized house cat underneath all the fluff. So the foxes, even an adult fox, will fit in these incubators, but particularly the kits.
Now, what do you say to folks who might come across an animal, a wild animal in distress? What's your advice?
That's a great question. Thank you, Amy. The advice we have is to call us right away. Cobequid Wildlife. You can call us by phone, or you can reach us at cwrc.net on our online. And we can get you in touch with the Department of Natural Resources, and we can follow up through them. We don't actually advise the public to handle wildlife. There's many things that can occur. Safety for the animal, safety for the person. So you got to put animal first, sorry. And also safety for any cars going by. Sometimes if you don't know how to catch an animal, it might flush out into the highway.
Right. And you had mentioned the raptor enclosure. So this isn't open to the public, but they can get a chance to peek in through your website.
Yeah, thanks again. The raptor enclosure, it's original or unique in this fact that it offers them continual flight. Once they're ready, once they're self-feeding, once they've recovered, once they're off any medication, any lead treatment therapy that we're doing on them, they go into the flyway. We've had as many as 15 eagles in there at once. When I first put them in, they weren't all flying. When they were ready to go, they were all flying. That was an interesting experiment. Worked out quite well. And it also offers them socialization. Eagles are very social birds. The only time they're territorial is when they're actually sitting on their nests. It's been proven lately that last year that the year's previous babies will come back and help feed this year's babies once they fledge from the nest.
Wow.
So they're very social birds.
And this is a very busy time for you, so I'm looking forward to hearing how you make out.
Yeah, this is a really busy time, and that's, it's a very costly time for us as well. So that's why we're so thrilled. I don't even have the words to say how thrilled we are with the way that this campaign went. And one of the reasons we needed the extra 2 is because with the advent of avian influenza coming to Nova Scotia, it's always been in the world, but it hasn't been so prevalent here, is that we've had to have another isolation building built, Sophie Jam Birdhouse, and we need incubators for there as well as incubators for here. So we needed multiple. We need double of everything, quite frankly.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you for coming out. We really appreciate it.
The former artist in residence for the Atlantic Vet College says he quit after he was told to take down a controversial painting. Welcome back. Day 19 of the election campaign saw the Conservatives take on affordable housing.
Pierre Poilievre said he would eliminate the federal sales tax on new homes and offer municipalities financial incentives to reduce fees on housing starts. And he blamed current prices on the Liberals.
Over 3 terms, the Liberal government has allowed taxes and development charges to spiral out of control, making the cost of housing even more expensive.
Poilievre said taken together, his measures could reduce the cost of some homes by $100,000. The tax cut would apply to purchases under $1.3 million. Liberal leader Mark Carney took his campaign to the Toronto area. He rolled out a plan to crack down on crime and make Canadians feel safer in their communities.
We will quickly, and I mean quickly, reinvigorate the buyback of assault-style firearms and leave the classification of new firearm models to the RCMP, to the experts, not to the gun industry.
Carney pledged to compensate gun owners who are forced to give up their assault-style weapons banned by the government. He promised to revoke gun licenses for people who've been convicted of violent offenses, including intimate partner violence. The Liberal leader said he would recruit 1,000 more RCMP workers to fight organized crime, drug, and human trafficking.
Democratic Party leader Jagmeet Singh kicked off his day of campaigning in Saskatoon, claiming his Liberal rival, Mark Carney, would make deep cuts to services in order to balance the federal budget.
He said it means health care, it means pensions, it means supports for people living with disabilities, it means GST and HST credits. He has defined the operating costs, and he's told us that he's going to cut them.
Singh claimed the cuts would amount to $43 billion, resulting in fewer nurses and other impacts to health care. He also criticized Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre for deep cuts in his plan. Singh pledged that his government would never support a budget that cuts essential services like health care, urging Canadians to vote New Democrat. U.S. tariffs remained in the world spotlight following Donald Trump's latest policy about-face on Wednesday. The market's roller coaster ride was on a downward trend, and there were new comments from the White House. Chris Reyes reports.
President Donald Trump fielded a lot of questions on the state of trade between the U.S. and its partners after he met with his cabinet this afternoon. This is the fallout after that sudden and shocking drop yesterday that Trump would be pausing reciprocal tariffs on most countries while upping tariffs on China. Today, the White House clarified that China will be facing a 145% levy on all its imports. 125% was announced yesterday, and the 20% that was already in place when Trump came into office stacks on top of that. The Chinese Foreign Ministry responded with another strongly worded statement, which reads in part, "Tariff and trade wars have no winner. China does not want to fight these wars, but is not scared of them. If the U.S. is determined to fight a tariff and trade war, China's response will continue to the end." Despite the escalation, Trump said he's open to talks with China.
We're resetting the table, and I'm sure that we'll be able to get along very well. I have great respect for President Xi. He's been, in a true sense, he's been a friend of mine for a long period of time. And I think that we'll end up working out something that's very good for both countries.
Trump's economic advisors have also said that negotiations with other countries are already underway, and the 90-day pause will be used to negotiate deals tailor-made to each trading partner. Some Democrats are reacting not just to the tariff pause, but the motivation behind it, calling for an investigation into possible insider trading because of this post from Trump, encouraging his followers to buy the Trump crypto coin. It was made just hours before he announced the pause on tariffs that saw a significant surge in markets.
The American people have a right to know that policy is being made only with their interests in mind and not the individual financial interests of people in the Trump administration or Trump family that figure out how to make money on the side hustle.
Meanwhile, the Trump team seems to be forging ahead with negotiations, saying that deals with at least two countries are almost ready to close. Trump also said that he won't rule out extending the 90-day pause. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New York.
While Donald Trump's tariffs and threats have been stealing the spotlight during this election, there are other issues that many Canadians want parties to talk about. For the Muslim community, it's the conflict in the Middle East. Nicole Williams looks at how political leaders are trying to walk a tightrope on certain issues.
Aisha Shirazi is no stranger to this Boys and Girls Club in Ottawa. As a board member, she's often found here working with the local community. She says they have lots of worries this election, the cost of living, what's happening in the U.S., but also where Canada stands on the war in Gaza.
I think we've got, a humanitarian crisis that's unfolding, and I know that people are really, really troubled by that.
It's been more than a week since 100 Muslim and Arab organizations signed a letter calling on political parties to take a principled stance on the conflict, among other things, during this election. They say they're still waiting on a response.
We're really working hard on our side to
ensure that these key priorities do reflect in the platforms, and we're watching diligently to see if they do.
I think if you're looking for votes, it is absolutely dangerous territory.
This University of Ottawa professor says that's because of just how divided groups are on the conflict. But in the case of this election, avoiding the topic may not make a difference amongst Arab Canadian voters as they head to the polls.
Arabs are very much, I wouldn't say spread equally among the parties, but I would say spread enough among the parties for there not to be a huge backlash of one group over the other.
But some in the Muslim and Arab electorate are getting sick of waiting.
To be honest, I feel nobody cares about us.
CBC reached out to the four major parties. The NDP says it's taken the strongest stance, calling for a permanent ceasefire and an end to the genocide in Gaza. The Green Party says it supports a two-state solution and has also called for a ceasefire. The Conservatives and the Liberals, however, did not respond. Nicole Williams, CBC News, Ottawa.
As we've been pointing out, the federal election has so far been dominated by the trade war and the economy, but young voters are telling CBC News the main parties are not addressing their top issue. They're concerned the climate crisis isn't getting much play on the campaign trail. Gobina Oduro reports.
Young people and first-time voters are trying to figure out which party aligns with their values. But there's one issue they say isn't getting the attention it deserves.
The environment.
Climate change, the environment, and our impact on it.
Given all the rumblings south of the border, the economy has dominated leader stump speeches and policy proposals. But they run the risk of leaving young voters behind if the climate crisis doesn't seem to be a priority.
Housing and climate. Those are two chronic problems that will disproportionately, that already and will continue to disproportionately affect younger people. What those two kind of chronic crises have the capacity to do is to dramatically undermine younger people's faith in the social contract going forward.
In 2019, a youth-driven campaign to force leaders into addressing climate change captured the attention and imagination of an entire generation. And then the pandemic, inflation, political unrest, there's been a lot going on. Seeing, or rather not seeing, the role that climate has played in this campaign has some worried that we are at risk of going backwards.
Having some more decent climate policy and having some more ambitious policies towards green initiatives will be better for the Canadian economy, for the average Canadian, and for fighting inflation. We need to remind them how important environmental crisis is because there's no economy on a dying planet.
In Quebec, we are seeing the real consequences of climate change in the form of flash floods, ice storms, and wildfires. Some younger and first-time voters say they are worried about their future.
A party's environmental framework demonstrates how much they care about my future, our future.
While identity and the economy are important for the current political moment, people told me they feel ignored.
I'm aware that other problems are urgent at the moment and they've been focused on that, and I understand. But how am I going to vote for someone that doesn't have concrete plans of something that's important to me?
I'm someone who's voted for the NDP in the past. I haven't heard much regarding the climate crisis coming out of the NDP at this point in time, so I'm considering other options for sure. Because of how important this is.
So with time ticking away at the campaign clock, the parties have some catching up to do to convince many young voters to turn up and turn out on some of the issues that matter to them the most.
The Canada Border Services Agency says it's seeing a steady increase in the number of people seeking asylum at a major border crossing south of Montreal. The rise at the Saint-Bernard-de-la-Colle crossing coincides with the looming expiration of the temporary status of hundreds of thousands of migrants in the United States. Vanessa Lee reports.
Here in Miami's Little Haiti neighborhood, people are leaning on their faith. Even in this sanctuary, there is little peace. They're caught between growing violence in their homeland and the threat of deportation.
People are even scared of coming out, going out to work, people who have been working, people who have been in schools, and even at church, we see a reduction of a number of participants.
About 500,000 Haitians live in Florida, making it by far their largest home away from home.
C'est carrément le mur devant moi.
Including this man, who will soon be a father. He tells our colleagues at Radio-Canada he feels like there is a wall in front of him. He doesn't want to be identified for fear of deportation. He says he has nowhere to go if that happens.
J'ai des amis qui vivent au Canada.
Friends are telling me come to Canada. For sure, a lot of people will do that, he says. Already, Quebec's busiest border crossing is seeing a rise in asylum claims. In March, there were 1,356 applications, an 80% jump from the previous month. February 20th is when the U.S. announced they were revoking the legal status of 500,000 Haitians. In Canada, those making an asylum claim must fit a specific criteria. Among them, you have to be an unaccompanied minor or have close family already in Canada.
So most people coming at the border right now, they're not going to be qualified and they will be sent to the States.
Even so, Quebec has made its position clear. The immigration minister says the province cannot take in any more asylum seekers.
On peut pas accueillir toute la misère du monde.
We can't receive all the misery of the world, he says. But the reality south of the border is growing desperation. Just this week, RCMP arrested 9 people after they crossed illegally into Quebec. Advocates for asylum seekers worry that will become a trend as the immigration crackdown in the U.S. intensifies. Vanessa Lee, CBC News, Montreal.
The Atlantic Vet College's now former artist-in-residence says he was given 2 options: take down a controversial painting or leave. Christopher Griffin says he quit. He says it's a case of censorship, but the university says it's simply trying to foster a safe and inclusive learning environment. Wayne Thibodeau has our story.
This is the painting that has caused all the controversy.
The Atlantic Veterinary College's now former artist-in-residence says he was given 2 options: take down a controversial painting or leave. Christopher Griffin says it was an easy decision for him. He quit.
I offered to do a talk and to explain why I thought this painting was relevant and important, and they declined to do that. When my country was threatened by the government of the United States of America, threatened and insulted, I felt I had to do something. I had to react.
Griffin created the whole body of work based on the national anthem. This painting, called O Canada, hung for 2 months without any concerns. But it was this painting he called the crossing that prompted complaints. College officials say they received 3 complaints, 2 from American faculty members.
For me, this was not an anti-American painting, and I took great pains to not make it so. I chose lemmings because they have the mythology of producing mass suicide by jumping over a cliff or jumping into water. And it seemed to me that the government of the United States was self-inflicting wounds.
Griffin's been the college's artist-in-residence for less than 6 months. It wasn't a paid position, but he got to use the college's space for free.
We do not intend to censor his work. We did express that he was welcome to continue his work, but just that an institute of higher education, especially one that focuses on veterinary science and animal health, which is an international theme, was not the right venue for that.
The paintings will stay here inside Griffin's downtown Charlottetown Art Gallery. For now, he's confident they'll find a new home soon. As for the AVC, Griffin says he wishes no ill will on the university or its administration. He says it's just too bad it had to end this way. Wayne Thibodeau, CBC News, Charlottetown.
UPEI released a statement today saying it has now invited Griffin to give a talk about his artwork and show his paintings elsewhere on campus, not at AVC. UPEI reaffirms its commitment to free expression, critical thinking, and public dialogue. This is an important opportunity for the university to explore freedom of expression and the role of art in a time of social-political tension like the one which we are all currently living. Griffin says he is happy the university has reached out and is willing to work with them.
With many members living in exile, formerly imprisoned in Vladimir Putin's Russia, punk band Pussy Riot is now on tour in Canada, recently bringing their brand of anti-authoritarian music to Toronto. And Ali Chiasson got a first-hand look.
This is not a punk band. This is not a punk show. Pussy Riot's North American tour is a protest.
They're like I would say more than just a band because they're like a movement.
Certainly since 2012, when they held a punk prayer protesting Putin's Russia inside a Russian Orthodox church, where they were arrested and sentenced to 2 years in a prison colony for religious hooliganism.
It was one of the first times that the idea of a liberal Russian opposition entered Western consciousness, in the form of a band in this case, which made it easier, I think, to channel it into Western popular culture.
13 years later, Pussy Riot embarks on the Canadian leg of their tour, called Riot Days, that's based on original member Maria Alkinya's book of the same name. All the proceeds go to the Ukraine war effort and advocacy for Russian political prisoners. Even though you're dead to me. Canadian artist Margot from Edmonton is opening for Pussy Riot on this tour.
This is one of the reasons I wanted to be a musician.
Margot champions freedom of expression and 2S LGBTQ+ rights, which can land a person in jail under Putin's regime.
Those groups that used to do things like go to concerts by Pussy Riot have been very much marginalized, arrested, or have simply left the country.
So on this Canadian tour, through activist art, Pussy Riot rallies for democracy and against autocracy.
They have experience with it, and I think we're just starting with Trump and everything.
Something that may resonate with Pussy Riot's North American fans these days.
We have to resist not just in elections, but in community organizing and art.
I certainly don't take free speech for granted. I think right now it is more important than ever to use our voices to remind each other of that.
Ali Chiasson, CBC News, Toronto.
Another unpredictable day for the North American markets, which posted more losses today after gains at the end of yesterday. Here's a look as we head to break. Yeah, what a difference 24 hours makes. I mean, boy, there's greenery everywhere now, at least in the Halifax area, for
I know,
sure.
and you know what? We were all kind of guilty of taking pictures of it, even though we grumbled about it.
I took some.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, good to remember for next year when we are hopefully a little further along. We can say, remember last year it snowed. But yeah, the snow is melting away. But of course, yesterday morning was really, really winter-like. And have a look at this picture taken in Halifax. This was actually taken not far from where we are here at the CBC, Hale Pond. And have a look at this.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Very
and
frosty.
Yeah, for
very
sure.
frosty. And Helen woke up to this on her 81st birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Helen.
Yes.
Way to go.
Happy belated to Helen. And she watches the show all the time. And so thank you so much for that, Helen. And great for you to send into pics in the pic. Ryan's Picks at cbc.ca. Happy birthday again. So for tomorrow, what we're going to be looking at is increasing clouds. Western areas first, then central, then east. Temperatures in that 6 to 9, even 10-degree range. A better chance that we'll get into some double digits on Saturday. Increasing clouds, similar story. Chance for an afternoon shower, Yarmouth, Digby, Shelburne, and then perhaps an evening risk into the South Shore region in the valley. Sunday, cloudy, showers kind of working their way in from west to east throughout the day, primarily the afternoon. Those look set to kick out midweek.
Okay.
Not bad at all. Okay, thanks, Ryan. Well, the work of famed British artist David Hockney is being showcased at a major exhibition in Paris.
When a kid of 14 or 15 or 16 comes to see an exhibition like this, who may never have seen an exhibition of an artist on this scale before, it's important to introduce them to their entire work.
The exhibition, spanning 25 years, features work drawn from museums and private collections around the world. It includes some of Hockney's best-known works, including A Bigger Splash.
During the last quarter century, the 87-year-old spent a lot of time in Western France, where he painted the landscape that surrounded him.
During that time, he also did portraits of friends, relatives, and even himself. Hockney is considered Britain's most popular and influential living artist.
Such vibrant work.
Gorgeous.
That's it for us tonight. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.